All right, what's the first one I have up? We have Meteor Shower, Sector Condition. And these are all available on the WizKids site. I'll have a link in like descriptions and stuff. It's in their WizKids Open Tournament rules. And these can be printed out and played in your home games, of course, so that would be cool. But to start with Meteor Shower. At the start of the planning phase, roll 1 attack die per ship in turn that cannot be rerolled, and resolve effect before rolling for next ship. A little bit of grammar fails here, but whatever. Any hit or critical damages the target ship as normal. Ships may roll defense dice against this damage using their ship's printed agility value. All right. So, who is this trying to screw over?
Well, a lot of people are saying this is supposed to be screwing over Borg because of their 0 agility. No. No, this is screwing over cloakers, you guys. Borg don't care. You know, Battleship doesn't care. They certainly have the health to deal with this and the shields. But
Right.
cloakers, you have just disabled all of your shields and you get none of your extra defense dice. Good luck.
You get 1, maybe 2.
Yeah, this crit might be going straight to your hull.
Yeah. It also messes with the upgrade cards like Paris and Shelby, and the shield card from the Raven pack that increase your ability, but they don't increase your printed agility.
In fact, there's only one thing in the entire game that increases printed agility, and that is the flagship resource.
That does increase printed agility. That's interesting.
It increases
Yeah.
it increases your printed attack, agility, hull, and shields. It's the reason why it helped boost the Chitang weapon.
Yeah, good call.
Barrage of Fire. That's the one.
Good call.
So yes, apart from that, rolling 1 attack die against a Borg ship that has 21 hull hit points combined or so doesn't really matter. And if it did, it still can regenerate.
Correct.
Yeah.
All the other
Or
ships...
didn't we just... Or, you know, if it's a sim... Oh, never mind. Ignore me.
But yeah, so Meteor Shower, good luck, Cloakers,
Good luck, cloakers.
and basically anything that boosts your defense dice to outrageous numbers.
It's important to note that it's at the start of the planning phase, so you bring your shields up at the end turn, and so if you're a cloaker and you shot, if you fired the last round, then your shields will be back up. You won't be cloaked. But if you maintained your cloak, then you're going to be hurting.
But the flip side of that is this can strip your shields before you have the ability to cloak again.
Right.
Ugh. Also hurts things like little Denatra boats in their scout vessels or their science vessels.
Yep, so it makes swarms worse, it makes cloakers worse, it makes super agility worse.
Man, I hope
Isn't
my Bajoran fighter squadron can survive this. Oh, oh man, it makes fighters not that good either.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it makes the Hidekis terrible.
Mm.
It makes the Federation okay. Because the Hidekis just have the one hull.
Mhm.
But the Federation have the shield and the hull.
I would still rather run a flagship.
Oh, I would too.
Oh yeah. If this wasn't enough, I would still rather run a flagship anyway.
For Dominion players, this is going to make the Kraxon a little better.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Because damage to the ship is normal. The Kraxon should be able to absorb that.
Yeah. And then let me see. What is that Romulan captain that repairs stuff?
Mirok?
Mirok.
Mirok's a
Mirok,
pretty
yeah.
good deal,
Does
too.
Mirok work here? Let me see.
No, he works after you move.
No, but it still helps.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because he'll help mitigate this.
Mhm.
Not that I really advocate running Nerock, but sure.
Yeah, I like Mirok. If you're going cross faction, I like Mirok on a Kraxon with a flagship that boosts your shields.
Nah, that's silly. That's silly. I like that.
I used to run that
This
back in
also,
OP3.
obviously, this improves Scotty, Stock, Kyle,
Yeah.
O'Brien, anybody who fixes shields.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Regenerators.
Man, that
Time to break up the 8472 swarm.
swarm.
Swarm. You
Of
can't
two.
see me. You can't see me, but I'm doing air quotes. Swarm.
All right.
2 could be a swarm.
Next sector condition.
Yeah.
All right. Next one we're going to be looking at is energy flux. Energy flux. After targeting an opposing ship with an attack, but before making the attack roll, roll an attack die that cannot be re-rolled. On a result of a battle stations, reduce the attacking ship's printed primary weapon value by half, rounding up. Further modifications to the attack roll from game effects may be applied after the energy flux die roll as normal.
People keep saying that this is supposed to be, again, anti-Borg because of their high printed attack. What they don't realize is lower attacks are going to be suffering more. Most Federation ships are going to be rolling 1 die. 1 die.
2.
I'd say 2, because it rounds up.
No.
There's a lot of 3s.
No. It reduces your attack weapon by half, rounding up.
Yep.
In other words, the half that gets reduced is what's rounded up.
Reduce the attack shape primary value by half and round up. I don't know. I guess it depends on how you read it. I read that as it being 2.
No, I cannot think of how this could possibly be 2.
Because Wiz kids ain't so good at grammar.
It doesn't matter. To me, this is very clear. You reduce it by half, round it up. What is half rounded up? You find what half of the primary weapon value is, round it up, and then reduce it by that amount.
See, I
so
see.
Borchas are rolling 2 dice.
See, we're missing since we're missing a comma between half and rounding up. Because otherwise, it's reduce the attacking ship's printed weapon value by half. All right, now it's 1.5, and then round up.
No, but that's the thing. It does. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't. Oh, I see. Okay, I see what you're saying, but it's in parentheses. The parentheses to me say half parentheses rounding up means that the rounding up applies to the by half.
Which is the thing that's reducing.
Right.
Which.
That is so complicated.
Yeah, and I mean, this is something that's going to need to be clarified.
Yeah.
Even if you round up, Federation is rolling. There is no Federation ship that will roll more than 2 dice.
Yes.
I mean, and Romulans, God help them, are rolling very few. Even Klingons are down to 3 dice.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas every Borg ship is rolling 3, 4 if you get a flagship and you're right about the rounding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, this raises the value of things like Denatra,
Scotty,
Gowron, Scotty, Martok 9,
Mm-hmm.
The Klingon named flagship.
And I don't think
the Klingon independent flagship. Klingon named
the Klingon faction flagship.
The one that lets you convert.
Oh, I have things.
The independent one that gives you.
That still raises its value.
Well, yeah, I mean, all attack modifiers are more important.
Right.
Now, here's the question I have. This attack die cannot be re-rolled. Can we find a way to modify this die without re-rolling it?
You may set it with the set attack die command token.
Is that it?
That's the only thing I can think of.
I would think so, yeah.
Wait, hold on a sec. Let me look at something. Especially
since Admiral's orders are not in effect. Thank God.
But what about We don't know that for sure, by the way. It doesn't say they're not.
Doesn't say they are.
But it doesn't say that they are, and I think the safer side of that is to say that they're not.
Yeah. I know. I'm just being a devil's advocate here. I can't find anything besides the command, and that's only going to work once.
Mm-hmm.
So
On one ship.
not worth it.
Not really.
But this seriously rewards a couple of kinds of ships. It rewards ships that are high durability. It rewards ships with a lot of defense dice, and it rewards ships with high natural attack. Species 8472 and the Soong are the big winners here.
Now, the one thing I think we have not gone over yet is that I don't think this was meant to mitigate that. I think this purpose of this sector condition was to make people use secondary weapons.
Yeah, but it's not going to work.
It's not going to make us make secondary weapons, but that is the way to get around this sector condition.
Yeah, but I mean, unless you're running like a Fed torpedo fleet, which I would never do based on the other conditions, this just isn't good enough.
Well, you're still going to see your share of transphasics on Dreadnought Voyagers. You may still see Quantums around.
Sure, but it's like the only weapons I see myself using are weapons I would have used anyway. Borg missile.
Right.
Or magnetometric guided charge, which in this environment is fantastic.
Well, except you can't use those because they're from Wave 7.
Right. You can still use the Borg missile.
You can use the Borg missile. I forgot. You're right. But yeah, or full assault.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because that's just what we need. Another reason for Borg to run full assault.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, any fleet that is already making use of weapons will have less of a disadvantage.
Yeah, but they're not. I mean, they're just not
Good.
strong enough in this environment. I don't think.
No, especially since there is no restriction. There's no restrictions printed on fleet, faction, or ship purity.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
It's free for all, barring the restrictions of like the weak will perish can't go on anything except an 8472 ship.
Unless you're using lore. Sorry.
Right.
Good old lore. All right, are we ready to move on to the last one?
Yep.
Our last sector condition is Nebula, the anti-Borg condition.
Yeah, it would be if there weren't a planet.
Ships may only fire up to range 3 with their forward firing arcs. Ships defending at range 3 receive an additional defense die. All other attacks are limited to a maximum of up to range 2. Ships without a forward firing arc have a maximum range of up to range 2. David, are you still with us?
Yes, though my video went out.
Okay, just checking. But
I'm not sure what's going on with it. It's been having issues today, so.
All right, so first of all, an additional defense dice at range 3. This means against a primary weapon, you get 2 additional defense dice. Against a secondary weapon, you still get 1 additional. All other attacks limited to a maximum range of 2, so our Borg can only shoot at range 2 since they only have 360-degree arcs. Rear firing arcs do not work as well.
And it's just so good, it's so good. This is an event where they've, decided to limit it to faction purity so that Borg can't use transwarp drive. Oh, wait! I mean, look, this is at the maximum, at the absolute maximum, going to hurt the Borg for 1 turn. 1 turn.
Yeah.
And especially considering there's a planet, as a Borg player, you have the ability to make the range of engagement whatever the hell you want.
Yep.
I mean, God, I'd even take slingshot spheres here, and just send somebody. In fact, let me look up some prices here. Generic Borg ship. Yeah, I can take 2 spheres. Give one of them the slingshotty flagship, and the other one a transwarp drive, and that's exactly 90 points.
Nice.
Boo hoo.
Yeah. No, what you're going to really need is to just If you stick yourself, you start lined up right with the planet at the start of it. I mean, you can definitely get into range 2 easily. And forcing everything to be at range 2 just makes assimilation that much better.
Yeah. I mean, this is the worst possible decision for anti. I mean, this is clearly them trying to be anti-Borg and just failing. This gives more advantage to the Borg. Now the Borg get defense dice at range 2. They get 2 defense dice, or range 3, I should say.
Defense dice.
Yeah, and if I'm somehow not in range, if somehow you've managed to keep me in range 3 all game, I can regenerate, rolling 2 defense dice.
Yeah, I don't think WizKids knows how to be anti-Borg right now.
Well, nobody knows how to be anti-Borg right now. Look at Gen Con. The only difference between Gen Con and the regionals rules is that Gen Con didn't have the blind buy, which doesn't matter, and they didn't have the planet, which actually makes it better against Borg, and even they were just overwhelmed by Borg.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, and for that one round, by the way, that one round where you're going to be at range 3, Wayun Vero is legal for this.
I could see some single cubes doing some messing up some faces here.
Yeah, I mean, and all of the discards that could really stop Klingon, or that could really stop Wayun Vero aren't legal for this. The Wave 7 ones aren't legal for this. Miles O'Brien is legal, but so is Koss, so is Lean Alice.
Mm-hmm.
You've
got Croesus could help. Croesus is probably going to be a lot of help here.
Not at range 1, he can't.
Yeah, that's the only downside of that. Though with Croesus, you can disable Koss and steal Vero at the same time.
Yes, that is correct. Assuming I don't assimilation tubules him first.
That's a good point. Well,
and
if you're running Wayun, you're not assimilating.
If I'm running what?
If you're running Wayun as a captain, you're not assimilating.
Unless I'm running sideboard.
Stop thinking like me. Not allowed.
I mean, look. I'm going to throw together a build right now, and I'm going to say this is going to be a good build. I'm going to run a Borg. Let's see. I'll run Tactical Cube 138 because I'm going to put a Blade of Hull Armor on it, and I'm going to put Assimilation Tubules on it. My resource is going to be sideboard. Where'd that go? I'm on the the Draco Builder, so it's okay. Here we go. Sideboard. My captain's going to be... Who's going to be cheaper to start off with? It's going to be Wayun, so I'll use Wayun. And I'll have Veril... No, I'll just put Veril on the sideboard, I guess.
That's 10 points there. I mean, you don't need that many things on the sideboard. Have her there, have the queen there.
Yeah, I'll put the Veril and Queenie on the sideboard and put... I don't know, freaking Koss, I guess, as crew. No, I see. Yeah, I'm short extra slots here.
Well, if you want to think about that for a minute, because I was actually thinking of asking, what fleets would you want to run over here? And then if you want to work on that one for a little bit, I'll ask David. David, what kind of, you don't have to give me a full fleet build, but what kind of a generalized fleet would you be running in this kind of environment?
I think it's really hard to go against a super cube right now.
Yeah.
Are you thinking? I don't know that I'd go. Are you thinking, maybe I would go sideboard.
Reinforcement sideboard, you said?
Yeah, just because of the options. Mm-hmm. I don't know that I'd even bother with assimilation tubules.
See, the problem is...
I might.
I think in this environment, they're almost a necessity, but if you're not using the assimilation tubules, you need some way to get around Wayun Vero yourself.
Right.
So what would you use for that?
I've become a bigger fan of Croesus.
Croesus fans.
Because it's... Yeah, because of the stealing, it's useful.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is you have to get around Koss. Now you can disable Koss with Croesus,
Mhm.
So that helps. But then how do you get around Lenalis as well?
If someone's running
And
Cost and Lenalis, they probably don't have any other really good crew. If they're putting that much
Right.
defense on like a cube, they need something that gives them two extra crew slots.
Well, that's where you've got the fleet captain that gives you the extra crew.
So then the question is, all right, so if we're thinking about some kind of cube with fleet captain, Koss, Veril, and Lenalis, then they have no way to stop your Wayun barrel. They have no way to steal
Right.
it. So that's why I don't like that build. It would still be tough though.
Okay,
Yeah.
here we go.
Okay.
Here's what I'd do. Are you ready for this?
You ready, Tucker? Go for it.
Yeah, I'm ready. All right, so my build is 90 points plus sideboard. Okay. Tactical Cube 138, Wayun, Borg Missile, Feedback Pulse, Ablative Hull Armor, and Assimilation Tubules. Sideboard is Borg Queen, Veril, and Cloaked Mines.
Ah, crap.
Yeah.
I forgot Cloaked Mines are still available in this.
Yep.
I've gone without them for so long.
Yep. And see, here's the thing. With the sideboard, this is a lot of people use the sideboard as a way of getting extra points on a ship. This here is a genuine sideboard. In other words, when I'm saying years, I'm saying, okay, if I need to Wayun Veril, I first turn put on Veril for Wayun Veril.
Mhm.
If I don't need to Wayun Veril, if I need to steal something for some reason, I switch out Borg Queen first turn. Once I use my Feedback Pulse, I get my Cloaked Mines.
Mhm.
And yeah, rock on. I mean, this build is, my plan is dance around the planet. Have 22 points of durability. Plus whatever I can regenerate if necessary. Free actions from Borg Queen if I need to target, lock, and scan on the same turn for whatever reason, or use a free action to take an action and then get something off the sideboard. I mean, this is just not. By the way, Borg Missile can be very good with dancing around a planet, because I'm already limiting your movement options by using the planet, and now you have a pile of auxiliary power tokens.
And Borg Missile will slow down Wayun.
Yep, and Feedback Pulse.
If you can get the attack off Wayun to begin with.
Yes.
Otherwise, you need to stack like 3 power tokens on him from multiple like auxiliary power beams. No, what is it?
Right, but I'm already assimilating. I'm already using if I'm fighting Wayun Veril, I'm taking assimilation tubules and assimilating whatever's making his combo work.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Positron beams.
That's the one.
What you're saying. Well.
Thank you, David.
Yeah, but I mean, this is. I don't have room for positron. I guess I could put positron beam on instead of Cloaked Mines, but I'd rather have the Cloaked Mines just in case somebody's crazy enough to run cloakers in this event, which I think is a terrible decision.
And Cloaked Mines also get around Wayun and Veril.
Yeah, that is also the truth. As does Feedback Pulse, for that matter.
All right, so, I mean, frankly, I think we're going to see a lot of that in the environment. So, number one, you have to be prepared for it. Number two, I'm not sure if we're actually going to see anything that different. Like my idea for the event, one of my personal favorites, and Tucker was looking up the link to this earlier, is running a Borg ship with mobility that came from the Bajorn Interceptor.
Can you do that?
Yes. It is a tech slot. You cannot use its first ability, which is to do a U-turn or to do a full about whenever you could do a come about or a one turn. But it does allow...
Oh my god, you can sit on the planet token. That's so dumb.
You can exist on a planet token. So if you're on one side of the planet and your opponent's on the other, they can't shoot you through the planet, And if they try to get around the planet to get to you, you go onto the planet and shoot them, and they're still pointing the wrong way.
Oh my God! If you're sitting on a planet and you have maneuverability, the Borg can hold station. You can just sit there and shoot at them from the middle of the planet.
Mm-hmm. And if they try to point at you through the planet, if they try to point at you and they go into the planet, they still lose their actions.
But they can never hit you, ever, if you're just sitting on the planet.
Oh, no. When you're on the planet with maneuverability, people can still shoot at you as normal, but you get an extra defense die.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But they do have to be pointing in your direction. You do have to be
no. Okay.
Now, against another Borg ship, that's not a really hard proposition. But like the one test fleet I was running had maneuverability, and the Bajoran captain Hazar, which was as long as you're within range 1 of an obstacle or a planet, everyone rolls 1 less attack die against you.
Oh my God, that's ridiculous in energy flux.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that means that anybody who's not Borg or species or Klingons, if you're right about the rounding, just can't hit. That's so dumb. This event is dumb, you guys. This event is so dumb.
Everything is dumb. So that's my contribution to the conversation. Does anyone have anything to say about that?
Cloaked mines.
Cloaked mines
not
be
an
fun.
attack.
You can technically drop cloaked mines on a planet. It might become a necessity.
Well, cloaked mines is not an attack. So the hell your maneuvering planet hidey strategy.
Mm-hmm. The problem is you have to get them on the planet before I get in range of it, because they still have that range requirement.
Right.
Because you can't drop them if I'm within range 2.
Yeah, that's true. But I'll just jump out, put the mines on the plane. Yeah, this is my plan. This is my battle plan, you guys. Turn 1, jump out. Yeah, turn 1. Literally turn 1. Discard the mines. Place the mines on planet. Dance around the planet. This is stupid. This is a stupid event. I hate this. Oh my God. And I have all these cards already.
I know, right? Aren't they fun? But yeah, this is probably something I'll be testing at... Oh, no. Yeah, I'll be testing them at the game shop tomorrow, along with some of the new Wave 7 stuff, since it should be coming out.
Yeah.
And we'll see how it goes from there. I'm still testing stuff for OP3 that I haven't gotten to yet. But, yeah. I think that's pretty much what we've got to say about this event so far. You know, our initial impressions and what we're thinking about running at something under these conditions.
You know, WizKids really needs to figure out a solution to the tournament structure right now. It's just not working.
You can't have these free-for-alls.
You really can't. This is...
You think that if we actually had like a real mission, it would make a good impact?
But
no, because you can still blow your opponent up.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. We have real missions now. I mean, these sector conditions are real missions. It's just they don't hurt any of the strongest strategies.
Mm-hmm. Well, I wouldn't consider these missions. These are like environments.
Well, here's the thing, though. Like, we may need to seriously examine the possibility of a ban list. We may need to ban spheres, cubes, conditional surrender, and barrel. That may be the only solution.
No, I don't think conditional surrender and barrel is the problem. I think it's Weyoon.
No, because then you'd have to ban the Vulcan captain too.
Ah, you're saying that like it's a bad thing.
Well, see, no, but here's the thing. Because there are totally fair uses of Weyoon. Like, if we ban Weyoon, there's going to be a guy who's powering out, I don't know, friggin' this Kunavas, you know, every single turn. And it's like, well, I don't understand why that's broke, you know. and you know, what's his name? The Vulcan captor, Sopek, you know, he loves Vulcan commandos. There are totally fair ways to use this card. There is nothing fair about attack cancellation.
Now, see,
And
I would argue that.
Wait. And here's the other thing. As long as we have ways to regenerate crew, as long as we have ways to stop crew from being discarded, Varel and conditional surrender are always going to be unfair. But if we get rid of Yoon, there will always be another SotF coming.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see what I'm saying?
David, what do you think about how about the issue? David?
See, I have a feeling if Weyoun was limited to saving Dominion cards, it's far less of an issue.
That would be fair. That would be fair. And I mean, but even then, there's still a problem with conditional surrender.
There is. I've thought this a long time, and I know it's been around, and I know people don't like it, but conditional surrender should only work if your crew actually goes away. Now,
okay, here's the thing. You're talking about errataing cards, and I'm talking about banning cards.
I know.
Of the two, I prefer banning because you can't use that is easier than that card doesn't work the way you think it does.
Right.
And I would agree with that in the simplicity.
Yeah, it's just easier to ban conditional surrender, and Varel would work if you restricted her in some way, but again, she's probably easier to ban. Her tech should have been, from the start, she may only be equipped to a Romulan science.
Doesn't matter. You can steal her any number of ways.
Yeah, I know.
All right, guys. So I'm going to stop you here because this is a topic that could keep us going for a whole different show.
Yeah, that's true, and it's a very inflammatory topic. I mean, I'm getting. I don't want to. For you folks at home, I know that there are people that fervently are against ban lists and think that Weyoun Varel is totally okay if you play around it, and I'm not going to say you're wrong. I am just going to say, this is my opinion, and you know what? Let's leave it at that because I don't think anybody wants to hear an hour and a half of all of us arguing about it.
No.
Exactly. All right. So let's get this thing wrapped up. I don't see any questions in the chat, so... some comment. All you have to do is faction pure and most of the overpowered combos go away. Yeah, that's a whole nother debate that we're not getting into. And I stated that on day one.
Well, see, here's the thing. Only faction pure. Ship pure, you can flagship to elite talent, put Weyoun and superior intellect on the same ship, and then run a Romulan generic Galgathong with Nivar and Varel, and bam, you have ship pure Weyoun Varel. And then if you're only running faction pure, I mean,
Borg win.
Hey, you can't. Sorry.
If you're only playing faction pure, Borg win.
Yeah, if you're only playing faction pure, Borg win. Period.
But yeah, all right. I think that's going to wrap it up for the show today. Anything you guys want to say in closing? We've gone through. We went through the fleet officers. We went through all the sector conditions and the WizKids rules. Any last thoughts on any of those? David. Tucker.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, David. Go ahead.
I like the officer cards. I don't like what WizKids is doing with their opens. The game has some issues, and I know that's a totally different debate. I'm not going to get into it. But this game is still fun.
Mm-hmm.
And this game is fun in both friendly and competitive environments, and that's not to say that competitive can't be friendly. But you have to ask yourself at some point, are you playing just to win? And nobody can answer that except you.
Yeah,
so, I am.
I want to build on that. Can I build on that, Will? Can I build on that? It's just... Look, I know that on this podcast, I probably come off as easily the most negative Nancy of the three of us. I just want to say, look, this is a wonderful game, you guys. This is a really, really fun game. It's a game. Small personal anecdote. This is a game. I come from a family of not gamers. This is one of the very few games I've been able to play with my mother, who is a huge Star Trek fan. And this is a wonderful, wonderful game. Even if the competitive scene has some deep flaws, whatever. Just go home and, play with your friends and just have a blast. Even if WizKids doesn't understand how to make a environment where the Borg aren't great, so what? Whatever. Go home and play the save the Federation ship from the Suliban mission. That's really fun. Hey, Will, can we do a podcast about missions? Have we done that?
About commissions?
Missions. Like, can we just review a bunch of missions?
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't see anything. I don't see anything on the schedule for next week. We've gone through all the previews. There should be nothing new about those for a while.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's talk about ways to make this game fun at home.
That sounds like a good idea. Probably look into that for next week.
I think that's a nice palate cleanser.
Yeah, exactly. A nice palate. Perfect.
And I guess we'll talk more about how we want to do that off air. But
yeah,
indeed. But all right, guys. Thanks for watching. This has been another episode of State of the Federation. Glad you could join us, and for you guys on the archives, glad you could find the time to listen. We always appreciate it. You can always find everything in an archive on the podcast. It's going to be feedburner.com/State of the Federation. And you've got my YouTube channel where these will also be up, where you can see all of us in our wonderful glory, except Tucker, who is very shy. YouTube.com/Delta Angelfire, no underscore.
That may change in the near future, by the way.
Ooh.
In other words, I might be getting a webcam. That's all.
He might be getting a face. Don't let him lie. He's Hannibal. All right.
No, he's a Doctor Who robot. And that's all I'll say for anyone that hasn't seen the new premiere.
All right, guys. I think that's going to do it for tonight. Sound good for you guys?
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for joining us. And as always, till next time, may Q be generous with your dice.